coming this summer. There's only one place you need to be. From the promoters who bought you boats and brunching, the first floating brunch featuring chicken and waffles, Tampa's only floating mimosa bar comes brunching on a Sunday. The ultimate 90s R&B Sunday brunch by your favorite promoters. Featuring sounds and music by that DJ, your favorite DJ's DJ, your favorite DJ's least favorite DJ, the people's DJ, the same DJ from Boats and Brunching, the first floating brunch featuring chicken and waffles, Tampa's only floating mimosa bar. Join us June 1st, 2018 at the venue. What venue? The same venue we always use. Also home to Slapback Saturdays, the only place in town to find the ugliest slapback hoes in the Bay. In the Bay, across the Bay, they come from under the Bay. For tickets, table reservations, and hookahs for 16 Bitcoins, text 813-555-5555 or DM the DJ, your DJ, the people's DJ, your least favorite promoter's most favorite DJ. Must be 23 or older to party, must be 25 and up. Parking is limited, but be sure to arrive on time, but not too on time because our bartenders tend to be late. Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for joining us for another episode of Mr. Marvel's InDaHouse Podcast presented by Good Knockin' Radio. I go by the name Mr. Marvel, the host who does the most. And this episode is brand fucking new. This podcast will continue to deliver on comedic storytelling, insights to my life, and giving you feedback and reactions to real stories, real people, from the comfort of my blow-up couch in my in-home studio. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for instant updates and notifications from new episodes, special guest appearances, and more. This episode 10, I'm at my 10th episode, is sponsored by, in-house by Good Knockin' Radio since 2014. Good Knockin' Radio has been home to radio shows, podcasts, and providing our dopeness as a service for your weddings and events. Good Knockin' has grown to become synonymous with opportunity and community, bridging the gap between audiences, artists, and brands, making us one of the most recognized names in Tampa Bay. For details about how to contact us about guest appearances, online write-ups, and event services, contact us at goodknockin@gmail.com or visit us on the web at goodknockin.net. May is a big month for us as we get started with 100 Days of Summer, delivering hot new playlists, new shows, new schedules, and more, all for your digestion and for your hunger. This is our radio now. Whew. So we got a guest on today's show. Uh-oh. And that guest is none other than CocoTheVirgo. Oh, my goodness. Welcome to the show, babe.
Did you miss me, motherfuckers? What is Z?
How many Z's? 10. I answered it already for you.
Thank you. See, that's why I keep you around.
Yeah. That's why we're roommates. That's why we do this.
Appreciate you.
All right. So today's this episode's drink of choice, Coco, as you know, you have to tell us what you're drinking today.
I am having Pure Leaf sweet tea. For those of you who don't know me, I am a 100% advocate for all things tea. I like sweet tea, green tea, black tea, oolong tea, jasmine tea, all that tea. But for the most part, I like sweet tea. So pretty much if you go out with me, there's a 90% chance I am going to order sweet tea. Shameless plug, if you're ever out at a bar, ask for sweet tea and a shot of Grand Marnier and thank me later. I don't have a name for it yet, but if you take that shit and you trademark that shit, give me my fucking royalties.
Jesus. All right. My drink of choice today was going to be a Quattro Valles 2014 Malbec. The one that I had from one of the earlier episodes.
That's red wine for all y'all out there.
That's just red wine, you know what I'm saying? But as I was opening it with my bare hands, the cork has broken. So
he doing bad right now.
I'm kind of doing bad a little bit. I'm just looking at it, swirling the bottle. You get desperate when you can't open the bottle and you're just like, maybe if I should just push the cork all the way in and then drop it and then you start drinking cork.
Yep.
That's when you're really doing bad. But this cork was actually really dusty. Like, it's really flaky. But, yeah, so I'm probably not going to be drinking today unless you want to share the Pure Leaf.
Yes, you're more than welcome.
Oh, that's
really what roommates are for.
That's what roommates are for. Roomie. All right, so be sure to enjoy my last episode here titled 009, We Missed a Meeting, where I take you on a vivid read of my first act of my novel, We Missed a Meeting. It's a look at life from the perspective of a main character, Richard, the day of the absence and beyond. The absence is the day black people discover they are somehow the only people left on earth. The first act, They Chose You, Mr. Ferguson, is available on Wattpad as well as Patreon, so be sure to enjoy that. Check that out, man. Your boy's getting into his authorship. All right. So we have a lot to talk about on today's episode. This episode is titled Consumers Gon' Consume. And one of the biggest things that I want to kind of dive into, I guess to just kind of get things going now, and we'll just kind of funnel into whatever else topics is you, Coco, contrary to what a lot of people believe, are an asshole.
What? Damn.
Yeah. Okay, no, I'm playing. But you are. So the reason why I brought that up like that, and what I was trying to say.
You better be going somewhere.
Yeah. You're saying too much. You're throwing me off. All right, so you are a very big advocate about experiences, right? I think
I am.
I always was, and then when we started dating, it was kind of like, oh damn, she has a really good point. Like it has to come with an experience. So from your perspective, just kind of like just to open up dialogue, you know what I mean? I'm a question kind of guy. What is the one thing that, let's talk about reviews. Let's just talk about reviews. Fuck it. I ain't got no questions. But tell me about like your perspective on reviews and people not respecting reviews, people respecting reviews, people reading their own reviews. What does that matter for people who are in business, or even if you ain't in business?
Unfortunately, the title of this podcast is so relevant to that question you asked. Consumers gon' consume.
Right. And
depending on what they are consuming, consumers rely heavily on reviews. Like, it sucks, but they do. I personally, it depends. For me, I like to say I have graduated up to like foodie status almost. I just haven't bought a plane ticket to a random country to go try some shit yet. I'm on my way there.
Right.
But as far as like in my hood and going back home and whatnot, I will go to a new place in a minute and try something new on the menu or something like that. And for that, I rely on reviews for that. Like, hey, you know, what have other people said? I mainly go for reviews to see if there are recommendations, because what I like, everybody don't like. So, or what I would recommend, everybody's not going to eat. So, it just depends on whatever the consumer is consuming at the time. However, the reviews have nothing to do with my experience. And for me, as an introvert, experience is everything. Especially when, you know, you're approached by a lot of people and it's like, oh, you don't look like you're having a good time. You don't look like you're having a good time. Honestly, on the surface, I probably don't look like that. But on the inside, it is Project X fucking weekend, except a nigga damn near 30 on the inside. And I'm having a good ass fucking time. If I'm not having a good time, I'll leave early. Like, that's just how it is. And the experience has a lot to do with that. My best advice to a lot of people with certain places and things that they require to go on reviews, try not to lead with reviews, because there are certain things where I've seen, and even in my industry, what I do with my business, reviews are everything to our businesses. But some people will go as far as, oh, I called and asked for pricing and nobody answered the phone, 2 stars. Little stuff like that. Like, they've never even experienced the actual restaurant, club, whatever it is. They haven't even gone before, and they're just having a temper tantrum and taking advantage. I have freedom of speech. So it's like, I tell people sometimes to tread lightly when it comes to reviews, but you can find a lot of things in reviews. You can find out their level of health. Have they been on Dirty Dining before? Like, it's a certain thing. You have to know what you're looking for in reviews. You can't just go, oh, this place got a whole bunch of 2 stars. I saw Kev on Stage on Facebook. He was just like, he posted an article. It was like something about an Atlanta Waffle House was cited for health inspection. Basically, they failed a health inspection. He was like, I know that. I would walk in there. I can see all the health problems in there, but I don't give a fuck. Give me my damn waffle.
So the first time I ever been to Waffle House, speaking of Waffle House, by the way, I saw the Kid Cudi quote you just dropped in there. All right, let's get a bomb for that. Let's get a bomb. You get a bomb for that.
Thanks, Ruby.
All right, so one of the first things that I ever experienced at a Waffle House, which it was like, if you live in Tampa, y'all remember the Waffle House on Fowler back in the day before they did the renovation to it. That Waffle House used to have a dripping ceiling, and I will never forget. Like, I'm not most proud Waffle House moment, but a piece of the ceiling was dripping, and it dripped onto the table. Luckily, my food didn't come out yet, but I think it hit like one of the plastic spoons that I asked for, plastic utensils, hint, hint. And I remember just looking at it and be like, damn, man, like, am I going to say something like that, you know, this AC water just hit my spoon, or am I just going to kind of just live with it and just kind of, you know, be like, all right, whatever, it's Waffle House. Bro, I'm not going to lie, just kind of just scooted the plastic spoon to the side, and it was just like, hey, can I get a metal one? And some hot water, please? Thank you. And just made sure not to put nothing right there where that piece of water dropped. Like, it is what it is. Like, there's some things in life that people enjoy, one, for the experience, or two, for the nostalgia.
My thing is, I'm glad you said that, because my thing is this, right? Waffle House, hands down, gives diner vibes. Technically, Waffle House is a diner.
That shit is a
and
a diner.
Every movie, TV show, comic book, everything, every time you've seen a diner, them shits ain't pristine. They not on some old like Top Chef type status. They're diners. Like, these shits are open 24 hours a day. Listen, between these 24 hours, at what point would you like us to cook? I mean, when would you like us to clean? Because
right.
You're going to be mad that we're not cooking. So I have no high expectations of Waffle House when I go as far as cleanliness. Should they have the necessary cleaning every now and then? Absolutely. Yeah. But that doesn't dictate my experience, because I'm still going to go there, shout out to Sam, and order my basic bitch sandwich, and I'm going to be good to go.
Like, imagine being at a Waffle House and somebody pulls out Fabuloso, and you just hear, like, Fabuloso hitting ground. Like, you're going to be like, damn. You imagine walking in a Waffle House and it smells like bleach. You're going to be like, what? Like,
I'm be like,
kill my appetite.
I'm like, this Waffle House is new, and I'm gonna keep it moving.
It's gonna kill my appetite.
Automatically, if I smell cleaning supplies at Waffle House, I'm like, this is a new ass Waffle House. There's no way.
Yeah, true. So one of the things I like that you brought up, which was kind of where I was gonna start with this, is like, so for me as a consumer, I tell people this all the time, all the time. I say it. I don't sell nothing that I wouldn't buy. And I don't try nothing. I don't recommend anything that I wouldn't try, because I'm going to be lying to you about the experience. If anybody ever hit me up, oh my God, hey, you're from Florida, tell me about Disney. I'm going to be like, hey, bro, I've never went. I was literally on the phone with Disney the other day for a job opportunity, and I told them I've never been to Disney. I've only been once, and I went to Animal Kingdom and Epcot. I don't even know if you could consider that Disney. I ain't seen no characters. Nobody was waltzing down the street. Nothing was going on. It was just regular ass theme park. Ciroc, I don't drink that shit. So if somebody was like, hey, I'm 21, what should I drink? Fucking whiskey?
Put some goddamn hair on your chest and go straight for it.
Listen, go straight to the single barrel, baby. I mean, where else do you want to start? I can't recommend you anything that I don't try. So, and that goes for everything that I do. Like, I wanted to start by saying that everything that I've ever done as far as like roles, I've always picked up on them because I see where there's an opportunity to fill a gap, right? Now I'm kind of going to the producer side of things. So when I started Good Knocking, I was kind of like, okay, that was back in the USF days on campus. And I was like, well, there's no radio shows on Bulls Radio for black students. Let me be that. Hey, whenever I go to... Let me be that. Let me fill that in. Whenever I was going to events, I was always like, God, like the music's nice, but there's no one coordinating or... really like bringing the vibe together. There's no one hosting this event well. All right, let me be that. Cool. Let me fill that in, because I want people to enjoy it. When I was a student at USF, I slept through my whole orientation experience. Next year, they were like, yo, orientation's open. Damn, I could really make orientation lit for somebody else. So it's just like, whenever I think of people buying shit, I always think of, would I buy that? Which goes into what you guys heard on the opening of this show, which is brunching on a Sunday. That shit is lit. Slapback Saturday. Woo-hoo. And
Slapback Saturday?
Slapback Saturday.
What the hell?
Don't ask me how I came up with that. Like, no one asked me how I came up with it other than the fact that I think you and I were driving in the car, and I don't know why you had the radio on. I'm not going to judge you, but you had the radio on, and an ad came on. And I was just like, Jesus Christ, like, this sounds like everything else that's always happening. Like, in Tampa, if it's on the radio, Club Sky. If it's on Instagram, it's the same venue. It's the same venue, same venue, blah, 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 blah. And I always wonder to myself, like, do these people ever try something new? And then on top of that, like you were saying, I personally feel like people are afraid to try new things.
Absolutely.
You're one of them, by the way.
What? Afraid to try new things?
Yeah.
You better watch your mouth. I be putting you up on new
Mushrooms.
things. That's not a new thing. That is something that I've experienced in my life that I choose not to. The same thing with you and strawberries.
Okay.
You want to keep going, roommate?
Yeah. What's up? What you got? But no, I mean, there's new things. You didn't even want to go to Gasparilla one time.
I didn't, because I know me as an introvert. I don't like to be around large crowds of people. I don't.
But there's alcohol.
I don't like to be around large crowds of drunk people. I don't like to be around large crowds of drunk Anglo-Saxons. I don't like to be around large areas and groups of large drunk Anglo-Saxons, and the police are not close enough to take my side. I don't like to be in those types of environments. I really don't. And on top of that, you are a walking ass nigga. I don't like to be in large areas. And you get a kick out of walking. Let me tell you something about me. I don't like to walk, and I don't do lines. You get off on that shit. I don't. That is where you and I are completely fucking opposite. So, but I've tried Gasparilla, 3 times now?
You went this year?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You did.
3 times now?
And then the other time with DJ.
So you can get off my dick.
And the other time with DJ. And then...
Yes. And then the first time I went with Nikki.
Okay.
So I've gone 3 times. I've experienced it on 3 different spectrums.
And you ain't like, no.
I enjoyed the first time I went.
Okay.
I enjoyed the first... Despite couldn't find you.
I mean...
Human beings lost you. How do you lose a whole human being in a whole ass city? Who knows?
I couldn't find. I was in the doctor.
And then the second time,
the Doctor Strange thing happened.
You and DJ had me walking.
Nah, DJ had us walking.
You had me walking.
I'm like, bro, where we going? Bro, I felt like homeward bound. We were the 2 dogs. We were the cat. Like, damn, where we going, bro?
Walking. So yes, I will
like,
try.
Are you looking for food?
I will try new things. However, I need to assess myself. What are the elements that I need experience-wise? And can I get that there? By participating in this, can I at least get out of my list? Let's say I have 7 things on my list. I need 6.5 on my list to be there in order for me to remotely enjoy myself.
What are they?
I'm just saying, if it is 7,
okay.
I don't know. It depends.
Because I know me, it's
first of all, it depends on the actual event. So, for example,
Slapback Saturdays.
I don't even know what that is. First of all, you said the best slapback hoes. So it's 9 out of 10 times it's something that has a lot of women. That's probably not up to par. That's where I don't need to be at.
They came from under the bay.
They came from under the bay.
They came under, like Pacific Rim.
So it needs to be off of my checklist personally of things that's like, okay, if it's going to be something new, I try not to go with too many expectations, but then again, I know me. So, hey, let me see. Okay, oh, it's a festival. All right, so what kind of festival is it? Okay, so for example, when Margarita Festival comes around, I'm not going.
Damn.
Sorry, it's margaritas. It's tequila. I don't drink that shit. Period. What else you got?
There's beer.
I don't drink beer neither. So there's that.
There's Mike's Hard Lemonade.
You don't even drink that.
I mean, I would. I've had it before.
So it's just kind of like when people bring it up, like, I don't believe in wasting money just to try something just to try it. I'm going to try it just to try it, especially if I know I have no interest in being there. Like, because don't get me wrong, I go to the fair and I don't get on no fucking rides. I go to the fair to eat. I go to the fair to motherfucking eat, and I go to Strawberry Festival to eat, and I take my ass back. I go there to get my strawberry tea, and I come back.
Hey, don't bring that shit home anymore. All right. So for y'all that are tuned in, I don't like strawberries. I don't like them at all. So that's something that I probably never have really said on this show before. You probably know it if you know me, but I don't fuck with strawberries, and it's really hard to do that. And last time you went this year, a couple weeks ago, you brought back a shitload of strawberries.
No, I didn't. I did, but I split it in half. I kept half
strawberries
and gave the
in
rest
the
to Dre.
fridge. Then you got really fancy. You went and got Kellogg's cereal with strawberries.
I didn't know there was going to be strawberries in it.
Shit, man. What's wrong with you?
Well, clearly, you know that cereal was not meant to be shared. So, why you all in my box?
True.
No pun.
True. Okay. All right. So, what do you, man? Like, I'm just gonna ask it. What do you think is the number one problem with people who are in business right now, as far as their relationship before and after service or the product is already delivered? From regardless of industry.
I feel like people pick and choose when they want to care about the service that they're providing. And it shouldn't be that, oh, because DJ Khaled's in the building, I got to go out my way and do extra things. But the random USF senator, like, he's just whatever because he's a student, so I don't really got to do all of that. It shouldn't matter who it is that walks in your door. It's the service at the end of the day. And I have a problem with venues or any other type of hospitality-related facility that, to go back to reviews, you know you're not giving the best customer service and you get a review as a result of it. And then you try to be combative in the review, or you try to talk back and curse them out and say, well, maybe it's you're the reason why you didn't have a good time. And it's just like,
you can only do that at Chick-fil-A. You can only do that at Chick-fil-A.
And Chick-fil-A wouldn't even let that shit slide. Like, by the time you get ready to send that review to Yelp, there's a fucking chicken sandwich waiting for you right next to you in your car.
He's gonna chase
with a fucking I'm sorry note.
The manager's gonna chase you to the stop sign. I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
He's gonna say, sir, did that person just say you're welcome? Come back. Come back.
Yeah. So it's you know, I always constantly go back and forth with friends of mine about the whole tipping thing, tipping at restaurants. So I had thought to myself, I said, here's a concept. Why not, when it's time to pay the bill, get the manager involved?
Right.
The manager is the one that needs to bring the check and say, hey, how was your service? Was everything great? How was so-and-so? Oh, was it good? Okay, cool. Well, please, blah, blah, blah. Tips are very essential to my service. If, you really enjoyed your service, please let it show on the tip line. And if you have any oppositions or why you feel like they don't deserve a tip, please talk to me personally so that I can do my due diligence to make sure that this person does a stellar job next time. Because what's going to happen is, and this has happened to somebody that I know. We went out to a bar. The girl did subpar service. She barely gave us any attention. She didn't get a tip. And then bitch went and wrote in her tip the next day. Before the next day, she came to us and she was just like, why didn't you give me a tip? Because you didn't deserve one. I work for tips. That whole violent story, that motherfucking servers that work for tips, all that shit. I work for tips, you don't understand, yada, yada, yada. And then she goes and writes in a tip the next day. So it's just like, how dare you? And that really puts a bad taste in my mouth about never coming back to this establishment.
No, I'm going to come back.
Because one, as a manager, you allowed that shit. You allowed that shit to happen. And two, you obviously are on your own page doing exactly what you want to do. So I don't want to be anywhere where that shit's okay, number one. And two, anywhere that you're going to be at. Because at this point, there's no more money to be exchanged. It's just hands being exchanged at this point. Because technically you stole from me. So you can't pick and choose when you want to give exemplary service. And it all goes up to management. Right. It's management's responsibility to make sure that the customer service experience is up to par.
This is a big question I always have. What is the proper protocol or response that you should have when you get a bad review? Like that shit is kind of like, all right, so, I host Love Jones Thursdays on Thursdays. And like I always...
Yeah, we wouldn't have known what day.
We wouldn't have known.
You know what
I'm saying? It's like Slapback Saturday. It's not like Slapback Saturday at all. But yeah, like I always think to myself, like, what if somebody were to write a review, like under the fucking picture of like a Love Jones flyer, which is like, the fucking host sucks. God, get his little ass out of here. Like, what would be the appropriate thing for me to say? And
the appropriate thing, and I've seen, what facility is it that I've seen that's, I can tell they were under new management because I looked at the way they responded to reviews in the past and then the way they started responding to reviews. and there's like one person that's like on it every single time and always has something pleasant to say to something negative, and they'll say, so for example, it's like, oh, the host is terrible, he's this, he's that, he's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. You know, I do have some off nights, and I'm glad you're pointing this out to me. Can you politely just give me your contact information so you can talk to me personally and let me know what I did wrong that I can improve or something like that? Right. The main thing, take it off of the public sector, right, so that hopefully if you can get them to a point to calm down and tell you what their problem is, you can figure out something to negotiate to make them feel better, and then eventually close the sale. Hey, do you mind taking that down? Do you mind taking down that negative comment? Is there anything I can do to get you to give me 5 stars versus the 3 stars you gave me? No? All right, then. Well,
and then that kind of lets you filter whether or not it's a legitimate, like, something bad happened, or if it's just like somebody don't like me because I don't comb my hair or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, well, damn, well, it wasn't really legitimate, so hey.
I mean, you feel like it's not legitimate, but either way, even if you don't feel like it, it's still.
What I mean by legitimate
is
like
slander and libel on a public level.
Right. What I meant by not legitimate is like nothing legitimately happened for you to leave that bad review. It
doesn't matter.
I know.
It goes back to what I said earlier. You called. We didn't pick up the phone during the hours that we say we're open, but you didn't, because we didn't pick up the phone. You gave us 2 stars. You've never done business with us. For example, with my business, I have a 4.9 Google rating, and the reason why it's 4.9 is because I had somebody leave me a 3-star review with no text.
Right.
With no text. And I'm just like, okay. Yeah. I respond to the review. They don't write back. And then I look and I see that they're trolling. They do it to a whole bunch of businesses. So it's just like, come on, bro. Like, we've never done business together. This person is obviously somebody who is not married. So it's like, yeah. I mean, because you can look like, you know, with people's Google profiles, because y'all be careful. Y'all, there's Google profiles. Google be making like its own Facebook version of your life. So, and you can see the track records of places that this person has left reviews. So you can tell it's a habitual thing that they do. But it's just one of those things where it's like, all right, well, I have tons of other 5 stars that will make up for this. So I'm not pressed about it. I'm just going to keep it moving. I acknowledge it. If we can come to an agreement, cool. If not, whatever.
Big question for you. I hate to make this sound like an interview, but you know, I can't help it. As an event planner, right? You do weddings, you do events, the whole 9 yards. Let me get something. I'm a little thirsty, man. This wine bottle really ain't gonna open. All right, you know, you do events and things like that. Is it hard for you, or tell us how hard it is for you to go out to events and, I guess, not
be an event planner?
Not be an event planner. Like,
it is very, 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 very hard. I analyze everything just naturally outside of, you might as well just kill it. There's like almost none left.
Don't do it. You ain't have to say that.
I'm just saying, you're like looking at it trying to strategize how to say something.
I'm gonna let you.
It's all right. Just kill it.
All right, appreciate it, Rumi.
No problem, Rumi. Yeah, so it's like I'm always in event planning mode, and it's just because I'm so experience driven that ultimately is what drives repeat business, in my opinion. And just repeat, like, just support and love is the experience. Granted, you're going to have, it's going to be 50, 40, 10. Mm-hmm. It's 50% people that's just coming because I know you and I fuck with you. 40%, I had the time of my fucking life and I want to keep having the same feeling over and over and over again. 10%, I have never been to this shit before, and it's just something new I'm trying. Only time will tell if I become a 50 or a part of the 40. Right. But that 10% is always going to be somebody that's never done, experienced, been to, bought, none of that before. So I'm thinking about experience every time I go out. Like, what could have alleviated the long line? What could have
a floating mimosa bar?
What could have made the flow of traffic at the door easier to get in? What could have alleviated the huge line that's at the bar? What could have, what I'm always thinking, what could that person have done differently to make this a flawless experience?
Right.
It's like, even if you don't have a brick and mortar shop, if you're an online store, the ease of paying for something. How difficult is it? Do I have to give you my email address?
I personally feel like as long as you don't make me click,
I got to give you my address, my email address. I got to do this. It's a digital product. Why do I need to give you a shipping address? Why do I have to go through all this for a digital product?
I'm trying to send you stuff.
But it's a digital product. Why are you
trying to send you stuff?
Why are you trying to send me physical stuff? I'm trying to
gather data about where my customers are.
So it's stuff like that.
Those are legitimate reasons that I've heard.
I understand that, but as a consumer, that means absolutely nothing to me. That's just sounding like some creepy stalker type shit. I'm ordering something that is online that's going to go right into my OneDrive, and you need my address for that? Nah, you good. So I'm always thinking experience. Experience.
Location. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You want an iPhone so bad because you always mention an iPhone. Anywho.
But listen, I think with events, and I guess this was kind of a big part of it all, and a big reason why this is called Consumers Consume. Because like in Tampa, I'm gonna hit straight to the ground level. In Tampa, the biggest thing that I always wonder is, how do people not see where there are areas of opportunity? You know what I'm saying? Like the same way I said, I've always wanted to fill in the gaps of experiences and things and whatever spaces. It's like, how do people not see where this is lagging? And I ultimately believe that it's one of those things where people don't see, and this is for the black community, if no one picked up on what I'm saying yet. It's one of those things where you're comfortable with all of these spaces being unfilled, these areas of opportunity in your service being unfilled because you don't consume your own product. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas like to think like drug dealers. Well, I shouldn't consume my own product. I'm not here to work. I mean, I'm not here to party. I'm here to work. Or I'm not here to do this. I'm here to do that. True, but sometimes you just gotta fucking put yourself in your consumer's position and say, dog, would I come to Slapback Saturday?
I don't know. I have to disagree with that just simply because, and this is not, shade in any way, shape, form, but I personally do not think that Jason Sherman of Royal Heat would go to any of his parties. I've been to parties with Jason, and he looks like he is ready to go every time he's there.
Like Jay-Z. Like the
Jay-Z like video with like all of Rockefellers turn up and he's just standing there like, fuck my life. That's literally Sherm's face, and that is because Sherm comes to work. And yeah, he could probably put himself into it, but I know after a while, and that's probably because Sherm is my age.
But once upon a time, Sherm used to turn up.
Before he became the person behind the scenes making the shit happen. That's two different worlds. But I think to answer your question, it's people aren't, one, they're either overthinking it, they're overthinking the end result, or two, they're not listening to what is being asked of them and observing their surroundings. So for example, whenever we go to Miami,
right,
and we go to Wynwood,
right,
we go to, Wood Tavern,
right,
I think. Wood Tavern is probably the worst looking space in daylight. Like in daylight,
yeah,
the place looks a fucking mess.
I don't even know what it looks like on the inside.
But at night,
it's a wonderland.
It is where you want to be
it's a wonderland.
It's not Dream. It's not at all those places on South Beach.
Play close down.
It is where you want to be in Miami, and there's nothing overthought about it. We have an outdoor deck with some bleacher seats. We got 2 bars. We got some bitch doing hookah that nobody's buying. And
that was hookah?
Yeah, there's like the one girl who was at Shots, then she'll come over to Wood Tavern and it's just so it's simple. Before it got as big as it did, we went and it's all cats. It's just fucking cats and people playing with cats and shit, and it's just jumbo Jenga.
Yeah. What was that, like 20?
Either way, Miami understands, okay, it don't require a lot. Even during Art Basel, as big as Art Basel is, nobody did anything extra. They just either got another venue and said, hey, bring that same hippie shit over here. Ain't no dress code required. Just get something to drink and go sit y'all ass down somewhere. And people are okay with that because that is just, we know it doesn't require a lot. Our whole thing is we need to get bodies in the door at a certain price and we're good to go. Here in Tampa, people overthink it either because they're trying to emulate something from somewhere else, because they're not listening to what the consumers want.
But do people even? I think the big question is, how do people have to communicate with you if you're a service provider? Like, let's say myself, I'm a host. I walk around the building with a microphone. If somebody don't like something, even if it's not my doing, they're gonna bring it to my attention.
Of course.
So it's just person to person.
Because you're commanding the room. You are the first person that people hear. Granted, you're not the first person they see because you're not the person at the door.
And I'm sure.
But you're the first. So they have to find you.
Yeah,
I can hear you, but I don't know where he's at.
Is this nigga at?
I probably don't walk past you 17 times and didn't even notice. And then you hold the mic like a fucking douchebag. So it's like,
what?
You don't hold the mic up. You hold the mic down like you're fucking Johnny Carson or some shit. So it's one of those things. Like, I don't know, like, you be trying to be classy with the microphone or
That's
something.
that Bob Barker. Bob Barker with the little microphone. Like.
So they don't know where to find you. But I mean, I don't know. It just depends on whatever the gripe is at the time. People know how to communicate with. Whenever people don't know how to communicate, the first thing they say is, "Let me talk to the manager." And that's why you always get somebody, okay, I am the manager. And then it's just some bitch that got promoted the other day. She was just doing regular cashier shit, and she just got a new fucking title, but she still do cashier shit.
Dropping bombs for promotions.
I just don't. I don't really know how to take your complaint and bring it forward. But I'll. Here, we got a suggestion box at the door. Did you ever fill out one of these?
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Suggestion boxes are overrated. They're not overrated. They're underrated. I'm sorry. Yeah. They are so over. You give a motherfucker half a number 2 pencil and a sheet of paper, and you'd be surprised what the fuck you get on the other end. Like, people just, I think people don't do it because they're afraid. They're afraid to, oh my God, like, you know, man, like, I'm afraid to do it. But think about it. Why would I let you go home to write a Google review when you might drop something in the box while you're at an event? You might put something in there while you're there, and now you can assess that situation on the spot. The biggest thing with everything in business and consumers gonna consume is ultimately, it's speed. It's all about speed. If you could have fixed that problem, you should have fixed that problem in the time that you could have. But now a nigga went home. You know how many people that person probably called? You know how many people you call when you have a bad experience?
5. And it's the same fucking 5 people.
And
so
every
fuck you.
Every time you call another person, from one person to the next person, you're hyping yourself up to remain as mad as you were when that shit happened. When we went to Tap 42, was it Tap 42?
Yeah.
You were hot.
Fuck Tap 42 in Miami. They just opened one in Aventura. Take y'all talents to Aventura. They got one in Fort Lauderdale. Take y'all talents to Fort Lauderdale.
I was there.
Fuck Tap 42 in Miami. That's in Midtown, right outside of Wynwood. Fuck Tap 42 in Miami. Period.
I was there to have a good time. Like, I was like, oh, I'm being petty. Because there is no bone stronger than the petty bone. And when the petty bone gets hit, ouch, you can't feel your chill. So we went to the ATM, pulled out cash, and paid them niggas in cash with no tip. I've never paid in my life for something that was $69 and didn't leave a tip. Sorry. One time for them. All right, so we're going to take that conversation to social media and everything like that, but we are going to wrap up with some small talk and some conversations about some things that are going on. All right, we are going to put 15 minutes on the clock. No, we're not. I don't even know why I said that. I be saying some shit sometimes on the podcast that I ain't going to do it. All right, so the spoiler embargo is up for Infinity Wars.
The embargo.
It still ain't easy. Yeah, it's an embargo. Like, we were blocked out. Thanos demands our silence, but it's literally been a week. I could not imagine waiting 4 weeks to talk about this movie. I don't even think that's fair.
Like, if somebody requested 4 weeks from me, I'd just be like, let's just fight.
Your PTO has been disproved.
Let's just fight.
Your
like,
PTO request has been
waiting
declined.
4 fucking weeks, a whole ass month. Are you
I called
wild?
my brother and was like, "Oh, you going on Monday? All right, cool." Hit him up the next day. Hey, what you thought? This nigga gonna say, "I ain't see it yet, bro." First off, who you raising your voice at? Okay, and what the fuck are you waiting for? Like
bruh,
what are you talking about? But nah, so it's still not easy to accept. We've seen it twice, and I'm just gonna spoil the movie. Doctor Strange dies. Sorry if you're tuned in.
Damn.
Yeah.
You just went right into it.
Yeah, Doctor Strange
I'm just
died.
going to spoil the movie. So-and-so dies. Like,
Doctor
Jesus
Strange
Christ.
dies.
You didn't even do a pause or nothing.
Black Panther dies. Vision is literally in the movie like a broken HTC Evo in 2009. Like, he's doing bad.
A lot of other people die.
All right, so one of the other things, too, that somebody was talking about that I seen, some garbage on the fucking internet. Two things. Number one, that Killmonger is still the greatest Marvel villain of all.
No. Nah.
I can't accept that. Killmonger was nice. He was cool. He was hip. You know, the cool kids liked him.
The little dread ponytail.
Yeah, dread ponytail and the fuck boy, and he poisoned.
Auntie.
You know what I mean? Hey auntie and all that. But a nigga named Thanos threw a moon at somebody. Like, this nigga killed the one villain that Avengers could not kill in the last 8 years. Well, 6 years. So even without the Infinity Gauntlet, this nigga fought Hulk and made him shut up. We ain't see the Hulk on movie. But all right, that's too much. It's too much. I am very, very excited though for Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think that's going to be a very critical part of what's to come. So pretty excited about that. All right. So in other news, is Kanye West crazy, delusional, or a case of the body snatchers?
All of the above.
You've heard my theory about the Kardashians being a
cult?
A cult. No, a coven.
A coven.
I think. All right, hear me out.
Whatever those ladies were in paranormal activity.
Yeah, paranormal activity is about the Kardashians. Y'all can do y'all research on your own. Figure it out. All right. Also in this week, Nas, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, and Kanye West all canceled in 1 week. If you had to save
Nas,
yeah.
What did Nas do?
Apparently, he'd been beating the shit out of Khalees.
Oh.
If you had to save one of those four people, who would you save?
None. But if I absolutely had to, I'd say Nas.
If you had to save him, okay.
I'd say Nas.
I would.
Wait, was Kanye in that?
Yeah.
I mean, I would probably save Kanye, just simply because Kanye has a difference in opinion and he speaks ignorance, but I ain't beat nobody ass. I ain't raped nobody. I ain't pissed on nobody. I ain't drugged nobody to rape nobody. So
it's just his
put some tape over that nigga mouth and I could sit in the same room with him.
Or just figure out a way to bring back Abercrombie and Fitch working ass Kanye. Like that's just the Kanye we need at this point. But okay, so damn, that's crazy. All right, we're going to be taking a lot of this to social media. We really appreciate you guys for tuning into this blurb, this short-winded episode of InDaHouse Podcast. Coco, thank you for joining me on podcast.
You're welcome.
Finally, she's been avoiding it.
I haven't been avoiding it. I have been in my own slumber of solitude, counting my blessings, preparing for the return of my own podcast. So,
what's the name of that podcast?
Off the Feed. Thank you for that.
What's up? Y'all niggas is coming back. All right. You know, it's a lot to manage here on Good Knockin' Radio. So if you guys ever see lapses in what we do, if we ever miss a week, I swear to God, like 3 weeks ago, I was just like, I'm going to record every episode of InDaHouse Podcast on Sundays now. And then it just can't happen. You know what I mean? Sometimes I just don't have the energy or the time, which is why this is a good podcast, because it kind of comes at a surprise to you guys. You guys can kind of just digest it on your own time or whatever like that. So, you know what I mean? Like, be excited. And you know, as usual, I thank you guys tremendously for supporting both this podcast, myself, CocoTheVirgo, Off the Feed, and everything that is to come. GK is going to be presenting the top 10 at 10. Coco's been hearing a lot about it. She knows what's up. She has a lot of good lists. Hopefully she jump on one time with us too. But other than that, make sure that y'all join us. June 1st for Slapback Sundays.
Wow.
All right, my bad.
Wow. I was not prepared for that.
All right, man. Y'all enjoy this episode. And, of course, as usual, thank you for tuning in to InDaHouse Podcast.